You know, something like this, which is kind of like passing through stuff. You know, the things that we have to go through, the changes that we have to make. If you can't adjust, you're screwed. Or this one, this is kind of a political one, and it's just called Mr. Furious. You know, he's just furious about he doesn't even know what. You know, X, Y, and Z. Or this one, which is no fun, no fun. You know, I'm at home and having no fun. You know, asking my friend to jump into a pool. Can you jump into that pool? And I'll make a painting of it. And another one. And all the different changes in light. I can give myself over to the phenomenon of light and air when I come up here. I don't feel that so much in New York. Up here, nature rules, and it's just like I give myself over to it. I don't have to come up with subject matter. You know, I can just go out and look, and it's there. Probably when I was in junior high, I just started to think, you know, you're not doing anything, you're just being a little jerk. And it's just like, come on, stop being a jerk and get into something. I had a great high school art teacher named Norm Williams. Just turned us loose. We were in a town that had a school supply store called Hammett's. So we had all the supplies we could ever want. Jar after jar of acrylic, rolls of canvas, potter's wheel, etching plates, etching baths. So every year this guy was sending a little, you know, it's a little school of 400 people, but every year Norm Williams was sending 5 or 6 people off to art school. When I got out of school, I kind of retaught myself how to paint. There were certain ways you could walk at Portland School of Art, Maine College of Art. There were great teachers there, and the examples that they gave us were great, and I still go back to that, but it was Cezanne, Matisse, Diebenkorn, and I didn't want to make imitation Diebenkorns. Even though there was great work happening at the school, so many good students. But I managed to get into Skowhegan in '80 on a scholarship, and I met so many other artists, so I just kind of went to a more natural style for me. I was looking for more freedom away from just the depiction of objects and doing them competently. Of course, when you begin, what you really want to do is gain some sort of mastery. So you work really, really hard at mastery, that landscape painting thing. But after a while, it kind of feels constrained, and you want to sling some paint around. And, you know, I'm listening to other cultural things, particularly reggae, which came in strong, like in the late 70s, and was an alternative, plus a lot of Afrobeat stuff. It was an alternative to kind of the slick commercial music that was going on, and it was like, wow, okay, I want my work to be more spontaneous. You know, I'm living in New York, and it's like, what's going to happen and what's going on, and everybody's trying to figure it out. This is in the 80s. But the beauty of it was there were so many people just like me who were trying to figure it all out. There were tons of group shows. I couldn't get a painting showing, so I just started making sculpture because nobody wanted to show paintings. It was everything serious was about sculpture. That was kind of my roundabout way, but it ended up making these kind of sculptures, which would be this big A, which was about 10 feet tall. It was a big fucking A. So kind of making these rebuses and I don't know, just having a good time with it. And then that might be a little hard to see, but it's like it's kind of you know, scary Ku Klux Klan guy, you know. And I showed him with Ed Thorp, and no one would touch him. No one who wants those in their house, you know. But I still have them, and I still think that they're two of the best political things that I've done, because sometimes I dip into it. I got turned on to Max Beckmann, and I really started to like Beckmann over, I love Matisse, I love Picasso, but Beckmann, You know, he really recorded the dark side. He lost his professorship in 33. The Nazis kicked him out. I like the mystery in his work. I like the theater in his work. The story to be told and the underground and hiding out but reporting on it still in kind of cryptic ways. He's kind of like, what's he saying here, you know? It could be sexual, it could be political, it could be very personal, it could be funny. You just never know what you're going to get with him, but it seems a little less an idealized world like Matisse gives us, you know. It seems a little more real to me. You know, and that gets into just images of like cars. I began to paint a lot of cars. And this is when I first got to New York, and it was like, I'm screwed. You know, I've got $100 and I'm working an art handling job, and it's hard. And I'm a little older. I'm 36 when I get to New York, but it's like forward anyway. We're going forward, you know. So, you know, that, or I lived in Bed-Stuy when I first moved to New York, and there was this old man who had this Cadillac, and he'd just move it from one side of the street to the next. And someone gave me these giant canvases that were 73 by 96, and I just said, okay, I'm making a painting of that, and now I'm that guy. I got an 84 Honda. But, you know, so those kind of things come along, or, you know, just the embodiment, what a car might have, how it might be like the human body, like this one, which is a Plymouth Satellite. And this was parked in a guy's parking lot. So it's from a photograph. And I talked to the guy, and I said, you know, how's that go? He goes, well, I got another one. I said, how's that? He goes, they're both pieces of shit. I just like cruise websites and find junk cars. You know, how they're kind of like almost cadavers, you know, and it's like the morgue. And but it's kind of darkly funny, and it's okay. You know, that takes me around to, you know, this is a little faded, but I'm going to get it up close to you. It's on raw canvas. So I'm starting to add collage elements onto raw canvas with painting. I got the title from a Neil Young song, which called I'm the Ocean. And there's a line that says, I'm a Cutlass Supreme. I'm in the wrong lane with my blinker on. And it's kind of like getting old, you know. It's like, here's a car at an early stage, but I like it a lot. Mm-hmm. And I like that, you know, there's these depictions further above that show, I don't know, its interior or something like that. And the rest of it is kind of really unfinished. And I mean, it's kind of about the state of our being, you know. We're always just adding pieces on or falling apart or coming back together. And the body, you know, it's like a car, upkeep, my ball joints, oh, you know. Or, you know, you just break down. Well, this is just called Hot Turkey Sandwich. And it's just a guy in a diner eating a hot turkey sandwich. People say, is that a self-portrait? I say, no, not really, but it could be. And it's just kind of like the state of things, you know. It's like, oh, I'm having a hot turkey sandwich, and that's about it. I'm divorced, I'm eating a hot turkey sandwich. And then, you know, Portland Museum has this painting, kind of looking at the American landscape and looking at the desperation of people. And, you know, I'm sympathetic to that it's like, well, what the fuck is how are people gonna get by? The traditional ways are leaving. You used to be able to have 3 jobs in Maine, and that's what you had to do. You know, when I moved up here, it was really that way still, and it was still going strong. But I just think that it's getting squeezed out, and it's really hard. But I'm not, you know, I'm also really sad about what Maine is kind of starting to become, which is a cloverleaf of influx. And it's all up for sale, and it's out of reach, and it's disturbing. So I kind of look at them as historical paintings. I love the German painters. To me, with their tragic history, what they've been able to do in terms of narratives, and with paint, um, it gives you hope. It shows you another way beyond the tragic elements that we see today. That you just keep going, you just persevere, and and that's kind of what this is about. Which is, this is put together from 2 photographs, so it's a little funky, but I kind of like it like that. It's like, yeah, that it should be fractured. It should be toupee. It should not meet up. It's got to have some sort of rigor to it. I believe that you've got to understand the underpinning of where it goes and how it goes, and once you've done that, then you can do anything. You can get away with murder. You can get away with this. You can get away with, very unfinished. Your imagination is your greatest gift. But to me, it's athletic. That making artwork is like athletic. That it's I love that element of it. There's nothing greater than moving stuff around and getting the big sweep of your arm and having control of that, and also to be able to lose control and then regain control. I once had a crit with Joan Brown up at Skowhegan. She kicked my ass. I had this painting that I'd been working on for a long time, and it was just painted into alabaster. It was just stuck. And she said, she goes, you need to be more funky. And I said, okay. When you're young, you got to kind of recreate the wheel and make things that maybe aren't good. That's good. So, I just think that it's like, don't expect to be on the top of the heap like right in the beginning, and be realistic about your goals. It's like there's a 1% that sells to the 1%, and that's you're shooting for that, really, because I've met plenty of people coming through New York who that's what they're shooting for. And I've said to them, well, good luck. Let me know when you get to the top and put in a good word for me, because most people are just flying along, treetop level or a little higher. And you can make a really good career that way. You just piece it together, There's no shame in working another job, whatever that might be, especially if you can get it down to part-time, and then the rest of the time you're in the studio. And I just think, for young people, that it's start your own gallery. If you don't have anything going on, organize a show, find a vacant space, do it that way. Run a storefront somewhere, do a show in Lewiston. Who cares? So that's about it. I kind of feel like I'm in my coming up on my second act now, and I want to start making some more new big things and see where it takes me. Hopefully some of these troubles are behind us, and just see what we come up with. It's good to be an artist getting old, because you may not know what you want to do, but you probably can figure out a way to do it. That's a real good thing.